Wiring. Okay, we've got two different wiring harnesses. We've got a larger one and a shorter one. The longer one, you'll have connectors. These black plastic connectors go obviously on the motors. They clip on, they're easy to install, they can come on and off. Servicing them with dielectric grease as the season goes on. They're already connected with dielectric, but you'll eventually clip them on to the motor. And they click. And then we need to run, and we'll do this, there's one for each side, for each motor. But each line will run along, it's easiest to do along the wet lines. I've already installed it here. This line, it goes up along on the wet lines, and it allows us to run electrical up to the tower, and we just guide it back in there. We'll do the same thing with our wiring. The second loom will run on the other side of the machine. And again, it's guided through, nestled along. The wet lines is an easy way to zip tie and hold on to go to your motor on the blue side. Alright, hold on that wiring for a minute. The next thing to consider is drilling a hole wherever you feel comfortable having your switch. In this machine we put one here. If I had two switches, I could have a hole, say here and here for example, be out of harm's way. The toggle switch we can install after the hole is created, again using a 1/2-inch drill, a little bit of general purpose like 3-in-1 oil to allow the drilling process. Slow RPMs with a high-speed steel drill bit will get you through well. The second wiring harness is smaller, and it's the power side, the line in side. We're going to have our two ends. Let's start with the power side. We'll have just a regular connector. It's going to have an inline 20-amp fuse, and you can hook this to the battery terminal, but personally it's easier just to go to the actual solenoid, the hot side of the solenoid. The hot side being the cable line that goes from the battery up to, in this case, it's on the inside. I've tied this line, this is a separate wire harness, just showing up for demonstration. And I've also hooked on the black line, which is a ground, and I've actually tied the ground a little bit higher on the machine, just above the hydro filter on the wall of the machine. All this is again the ground. Now that you have the ground and the power supply, you're going up to the switch, and you have these two connectors left. They've been fit with dielectric grease already, and they're going to tie into your switch, and I'll get to that in the next step. Okay, final step. You've been so patient. We're almost done. Hang in there. So I'm pulling this outside of the tower just so you can see it for purposes making it easier. This is your power line going from the battery and the ground coming up to the switch. I'm going to hook that to the top. I just push on. It doesn't matter if you go the opposite direction, it's just going to reverse the direction of the flow of the current. So if you find once you put the power to your Z-Power boom and it goes the direction you think is opposite, you can just take the ground and the positive and switch it here, and that'll switch the direction of the motor's operation. Now these are the yellow wires coming in from the motors. Remember we had a line along the wet lines, one on each side going down underneath the hopper to the motors. I'm going to hook on to the side connectors. And that's it. Your connections have been made. Obviously when you do it, you'll want to have the switch probably already tightened down into the hole, and you just work on the underside, but for illustration purposes I thought this would be easier. After this, you're welcome to turn the power back on, hook the positive battery cable back up, operate the switch, check for proper operation, and you should have lots and lots of trouble-free operation on your new Z-Power Boom kit installed on your LT Rich spreader sprayer. Thanks for watching.